The United States has lost over 800,000 jobs this year so far under the Trump administration, and that is the most jobs lost from January to July since 2020. And remember who was president back then? Donald Trump. Donald Trump is so mad about the jobs report that he's now claiming that it was rigged. Everything that he doesn't like is rigged. And by the way, the job report was not rigged. We thought we'd gain over 100,000 jobs this July. We didn't. It was closer to 70,000. The economy is slowing. People are losing work. Manufacturing jobs are laying off people because of tariffs, and things could get worse. Tariffs are about to increase for so many different countries. The list goes on and on. And by the way, Donald Trump is threatening tariffs with countries just in the middle of the night, it seems. This is absolutely insanity. I know there's one job I'd like to see lost, though. I'd like to see Donald Trump removed from office. He is a liability to the well-being of our nation. He is an economy killer. This dude destroyed our economy in 2020, and he's doing it again.
Well, pretty much all 50 states are starting to see job cuts and slowdown in economy and money spent because of Donald Trump's cuts. They also are starting to see prices rise in their states. Why? Because Donald Trump made these massive budget cuts, signed the big, beautiful bill, and the tariffs. Doesn't matter if it's a blue state or red state. Every state is starting to hurt. They're paying more and they're losing jobs. They're losing people and they're losing money. Why? Because Donald Trump signed all these executive orders and the economy is in a recession. What do you think was going to happen? Donald Trump told you exactly what he was going to do. And now red states, blue states, purple states are saying, hold on, we can't have this. We're losing jobs. Our economy's going down. We're not getting federal funding. We're not getting any help. They're realizing Donald Trump isn't for them. And all these federal budget cuts, all these tariffs are ruining these states, costing them millions and some billions of dollars, and they can't handle what Donald Trump is doing.
The jobs report is just in, and it's bad, bad, bad. Just 22,000 jobs were added in August. The unemployment rate rose to 4.3%. The broader jobless rate jumped to 8.1%. That marks the slowest 4-month growth since 2020. Not only that, but the report also has downward revisions for June and July of negative 21,000 jobs. That means only 1,000 jobs were added in the past few months. In June, the U.S. actually lost 13,000 jobs. That's the first month of job loss since December 2020 during the pandemic. Nearly all the jobs that were added are in healthcare. Without healthcare, job growth would have been negative the past few months. This is the first jobs report since Trump fired the last stats person over a bad jobs report. Surprise, surprise. It wasn't the person reporting the data. It was just Trump's economy. We're going to keep following it all, so please spread the word and listen to the Midas Touch podcast for more.
The June jobs report shows a loss of 33,000 jobs as Donald Trump's golden age is fizzling. Loss of 33,000, over 100,000 job difference in the expectations versus reality. Now, this is different than the government jobs report that will come out tomorrow, as the ADP jobs report solely focuses on private sector jobs and gets its results from payrolls versus surveys. And this is a big deal. Now, it also should be noted that the May report was revised down to 27,000 jobs added. So the private sector jobs market is not doing well. This comes after we had a negative GDP growth in Q1. And the May inflation report shows that inflation is on its way back up. And despite what Trump is telling you, since he took office, gas prices are up. The economy is not doing well. And Donald Trump is the reason, but get ready for the blame game.
Are we cooked? We're cooked, aren't we? The jobs report came out and it's really bad. The economy only gained 22,000 jobs in August when it was expected to gain at least 70,000. And it lost 13,000 jobs, which is the first negative month in the jobs report since December 2020. Guys, this is not good. Moody's has already said the United States has entered a recession. Alarm bells are going off. Trump's economy is tanking. Unemployment is up to 4.3% from 4.2%. Yeah, we're cooked. I mean, this really shouldn't surprise anyone. I mean, we're seeing the effects of this throughout every sector of the economy. People are having a very, very difficult time getting a job. That's just the reality we're in. Businesses are getting hammered by the tariffs, especially small businesses who relied on the de minimis exemption that Trump has gotten rid of. What was it, over 70%, 73% of voters in exit polling said they voted for Trump because he was the best for the economy? They thought that he would bring costs down. He hasn't done any of that. None of it. Wake up, everyone. Wake up. He doesn't care about you. He just cares about himself and his rich billionaire buddies and keeping the Epstein files hidden. That's it. That's all he cares about. Everyone better wake up and get wise to this. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know how you've been impacted. Like, share, follow, spread the word, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
Yo, this economy is crumbling faster than this cookie. And is it the Trump tariffs that's dropping the ball? Or is it the Biden we economy that's been holding us back this whole time? Let me know in the comments what you think it is. But let me tell y'all what my opinion is on why the labor numbers are coming in all out of whack. Trump is playing chess, y'all. And here's why. He wants the labor statistics to come out against what would be favorable for the economy. He wants low numbers because this is going to force the Fed to lower rates and force Jerome Powell's hand in order to be able to accommodate to what the U.S. economy really needs, lower bleeping interest rates. Now, in September 17th, there's a projection of a 0.25 cut, but that's already priced into the market, and you see the 10-year dropping below 4.2 this week, something that has rarely happened over the past 4 years. And now we're starting to see rates come down, and you're starting to see affordability start to increase. But I need you to let me know where you think this economy is headed, and share this with your friend who still thinks it's the Biden economy that's holding strong.
Well, breaking fuck the news. Good morning. It's not good news. The U.S. economy adds 22,000 jobs in August, below expectations of the 75,000. The unemployment rate rises to 4.3%, in line with expectations of the 4.3. This marks the second lowest job report number since July of 2021. The labor market is rapidly deteriorating. So I just wanted to let you guys know it's not you. Nobody can find a fucking job. I get comments all the time with people in my comments and they're like, man, bro, the job market shit. I'm still looking for a job. One of my followers literally told me the other day, I'm not going to reveal who he is. Yeah, man, I've been sleeping in my truck for the past couple weeks. You know, I start this new job. It's not just you. My people I know personally still looking for jobs. The job market's trash. I know somebody who went to college, got a degree. She's been crying for the past couple months, can't find a job. It's not just you, okay? And if you want to sit here and believe, oh, America's getting better, it's fucking not, okay? Motherfuckers are applying. It's not like people aren't applying themselves. They're applying. So, listen, if you're going through it, just try to thug it out. But it's not just you. Don't feel like you belong in the situation. There's literally thousands of people. And I'm sure these numbers are a little fucking fudged. So, I'll keep you updated with more.
So I hope other people saw the news that said that there are more unemployed people out there in America than there are job postings. And that is since 2020. Some are arguing back to 2011. Either way, the job market right now is absolutely horrendous. No one wants to hire, and if they do want to hire, they want to make sure it is the perfect unicorn candidate that they have ever seen. And unfortunately, that's never going to happen. So because of that, you could have all the experience and the qualifications that they are seeking. Nah, I'm good. And it's so discouraging. It really does make you feel like shite. It makes you feel like, what is your sense of worth if these people don't even want me? Then what? And it shouldn't be like that. And it shouldn't be multiple rounds of interviews. It should be one and done. So it's a very difficult time in America right now, especially if you're trying to find a job. It's just not a good time. But hey, I guess at least we're getting religion forced on us and putting the 10 Commandments in Oklahoma and Louisiana and Texas schools. So, woo, what a joke.
For the first time since December of 2020, more jobs were lost than created in a given month, showing more weakened signs in the U.S. labor market and therefore more cracks in the U.S. economy. This does, on the bright side though, continue to increase odds of us getting rate cuts on September 17th and also potentially multiple rate cuts this year, but it is a troubling sign for the world's largest economy. Now, the data that we got today was for the month of July, but because we had a downward revision for the month of June, officially June is the first month that is our first net loss since December of 2020. The numbers that we got in July also weren't very good. Only 22,000 jobs were added to the market during the month of July against the expectations that 76.5 thousand jobs were going to be added. Also, unemployment officially rose from 4.2% to 4.3%. Now, that is a very, very, very healthy number overall, but that trend is starting to swing towards the upside. Now, I personally work with some of the largest companies in the world. In my day job, I'm a supply chain consultant, and I know almost all of them are firing more people through the end of this year. And it's because of the squeeze on profit margins that they're having, in large part due to tariffs. And they have to do very, very large investments on their manufacturing front and their supply chain front and, reorganize everything. It's very expensive, right? So profit margins are hurt, and they are cutting costs where their costs are the largest, wages. Now, there is a hope here that this swing that we're seeing towards unemployment rising can get kneecapped. And that is if, and I don't know if the Trump administration is going to like this or not like this, but it is if the tariffs are held up as being illegal by the Supreme Court in ruling with the Court of Appeals because, and I'm not trying to be political here, but it's because that money that we have taken from U.S. businesses through these tariffs would be redistributed, reimbursed back to them. It's about $70 billion. And then companies' profit margins would, the costs would swing down, so their profit margins would go back up to where they were prior to these tariffs, and they'd be injected with this cash that was taxed via the tariffs, and then they could go and expand their businesses again. They could add more jobs to the economy. So if that happens, you could see this unemployment rise immediately get kneecapped. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that, of course, because that'll be the biggest single impact on unemployment and the health of the U.S. economy right now, in my opinion.
I don't know if you guys remember, but on August 1st, Donald Trump fired the BLS commissioner. He claimed that she was a Biden appointee that was manipulating job growth numbers. Well, guess what came out today? The new job growth numbers under the new commissioner that Donald Trump put in. Are the numbers any better? Well, fuck no, they still suck. 22,000 jobs added against a purported 75,000 jobs that were supposed to be added. Not to mention, our unemployment rate went up again, 4.3, highest since 2021, I believe. Way to go, dickhead.
Shocker, the job report is terrible. That's right, we only added 22,000 jobs in August, and the prior 2 months was also revised down. Unemployment rate is now 4.3%. It is at pandemic levels from 2021. Oh, and just because we're doing all those ICE raids and removing all those immigrants that are stealing American jobs, native-born American jobs are 4.7% unemployed. So that sucks too. Don't worry though, just because prices are going up and it's harder to find a job and there's more unemployed people than there are even jobs available, no big deal. It's no big deal. Come on.
A recession happens every time a Republican enters office, and it's now reported that there's more unemployed people than there are job openings in America. And the unemployment rate for adolescents aged 16 to 24 has reached 10.5%. If you're struggling to find a job, I promise you're not the problem. Deadass, I had a recent job interview with Entergy, right? They're this electric utility company that operates throughout the South. I make it all the way to the final round of interviews. And then the interviewer at the end says, hey, we'll let you know within a week whether or not you got the job. Cool. Fast forward 2 weeks go by, I don't hear a word from them. So I just send a nice follow-up email, pretty much just asking for an update. Y'all, they tell me, actually, our entire interview panel loved you. You are our first choice candidate. However, in light of recent economic policy and a change in management, our department is going on a spending freeze, meaning no new hires. Y'all. And fortunately, I had other job offers, but like I was still pissed because it's like they were my number one.
Donald Trump is destroying the American economy. New data is showing that for the first time since 2021, there are more people unemployed and looking for jobs than there are job openings. These numbers expose the truth that Donald Trump's policies are crippling the middle class, and that's why he wants to fire all of the people responsible for releasing these numbers and replace them with loyalists who will release fake ones. Check this out.
But this JOLTS report essentially revealed that there are fewer jobs available than those that are looking for those jobs. So in the month of July, it reveals that there are 7.18 million jobs open, and there are 7.2 million people who are unemployed looking for jobs.
Additionally, a new jobs report just came out for August saying that the U.S. only added 5,400 jobs, making another month of below expectation job growth. All of this is, of course, directly tied to Donald Trump's tariffs. This is why Trump is fighting so hard to fire all of the numbers people in our government, because numbers don't lie. They are exposing the truth about his failed economy and policies, and he can't hide from it. Wages are stagnant, nobody can get a job, and the numbers keep falling short of expectations. Trump promised to bring back manufacturing and protect American workers, but his tariffs have done the exact opposite. In fact, here's a look at the manufacturing jobs under Donald Trump. As you can tell, yeah, the tariffs aren't really working. But Trump cares more about his own ego or being right than he does helping the American people, because he would rather hide from the truth than fix his mistakes.
Once again, my prediction was right for this Friday, September 5th, 2025. The jobs report came out. Dismal. Unemployment ticked up to 4.3% and only 22,000 jobs were created. You gotta love these tariffs, don't you, North America and around the world? I hope they go to the Supreme Court and overturned. It's Trumponomics and Trumpism, and it's stupid. If you like my video and like my content, click on the heart button and follow me. If you follow me, I'll follow you. You're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. Said Daniel Patrick Moynihan. And finally, Dios te bendiga. May God bless you all and keep you. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
So the August jobs report is out, and it is an unmitigated disaster for Donald Trump. And on the one hand, I'm celebrating this, right? Because you take this spectacularly failed professional businessman who bankrupts everything he touches and give him the keys to the nation's economy, you're going to see his economic buffoonery laid bare. But on the other hand of that is the real world implication that everyday Americans either can't find jobs or are losing their jobs as a direct result of Trump's economic policies. Now, in August, we actually added 22,000 jobs, which sounds promising until you consider that we were supposed to add 76,500 jobs in the month of August, according to economic predictions. You couple that with the fact that in June, we actually adjusted the jobs report, so now we lost 13,000. We were positive previously, and now we actually lost more jobs than we gained in that month. You combine that with 4.3% unemployment, the highest level since the end of 2020, and you start to see this economic picture unfold that only points glaring warning signs towards recession. Trump's tariffs are impacting this. His deportation of immigrant workers are impacting this. Basically, every decision that Donald Trump has made as president in the promise of making life better for everyday Americans is actually making it demonstrably worse. It is harder now to get a job than it has been since COVID, then you have Trump to thank directly for that.
As Donald Trump's health is deteriorating, is Melania Trump serving as Donald Trump's personal caretaker right now? And before you say, whoa, Ben, what are you talking about, caretaker? I want to give you a bunch of data points, though, that I think will make a very convincing argument that as Trump is physically and mentally rotting away, Melania may be assuming the role of an actual caretaker. And I want to connect it as well to that video of the garbage bags that appear to be being thrown out the window of the White House. You remember when Donald Trump said that actually that video is AI, it's impossible to open up those windows and throw things out the window. Remember when he said that? But what I want you to pay attention as I go through the evidence in this video is he also mentions that
Melania had told him recently that she wanted to get fresh air in the White House with him and tried to, I guess, open up the windows, but Trump claimed that she couldn't. Now, I want you to also remember that Donald Trump said that that video was AI at a time when Melania right now is leading all of Donald Trump's AI initiatives. But I want to bring it all back to, first, that dinner last night that Melania actually attended with Donald Trump. She rarely attends any meetings with Donald Trump at all. She's barely with him, but she's there more frequently right now. I think it's important to note that yesterday, Donald Trump was first, I believe, supposed to be in Paris with the coalition of the willing, with Zelensky, with French President Emmanuel Macron and other European leaders. But then there was nothing on Donald Trump's schedule. I don't even think Donald Trump attended that meeting virtually like he was supposed to. Instead, he called in after the meeting was done. I think he sent Steve Witkoff to be there, but Witkoff left after about 20 minutes. In any event, Donald Trump then attended a dinner last night that the press was invited to at some point in the dinner with the tech CEOs. So you had Zuckerberg there, and all of all the AI people were all there. And Donald Trump was asked a question: do you plan to speak with Putin in the near future? And you'll see that he needs Melania to basically help him understand the question, because in my opinion, as Donald Trump is physically and mentally rotting, we've seen this before. He doesn't really know where he is. Remember, I've showed you the clips where he's like, where's Stubat, the president of Finland? It's like he's standing right across from you. Or Donald Trump would be like, where's this congressman? Like right next to you. And he doesn't even know where he is. But so Melania helps him understand what the question is, and she's like, they're asking if you're going to speak with Putin soon. And again, just look at Donald Trump's face when this is happening. Watch this, and then let's go through